We're in beautiful New Hampshire at Bull Moose Farm with Amory Rowe, who is the founder of In the Arena. And we've learned a lot about In the Arena this weekend because we're here at Tim Broe and Becca Avang's wedding. And Amory, it's such a beautiful spot here at Bull Moose Farm, but tell us about In the Arena and how you came to be here at the farm.
Well, In the Arena is a nonprofit organization that I founded about 5 years ago, and it actually initially was incorporated in Cambridge, Massachusetts, but my husband and our children and we moved up here almost exactly a year ago, actually. So Tim and Becca's wedding is a wonderful sort of 1-year anniversary celebration of our move to the farm, and when we moved here, we decided that it would be a really wonderful expansion of ITA's programs if we placed our first in-house team here in the Upper Valley. And so we talked to Tim about it, asked him if he would like to come and be the head coach of this running team. And the dual mandate of the team that's based here in the Upper Valley is to obviously provide a really great opportunity for post-collegiate athletes who've shown talent and promise, and also to get those athletes working with kids in the community in a really meaningful way. So Tim is spearheading that movement. He's recruited a number of wonderfully talented athletes here to the Upper Valley. Those athletes are doing, I think, superlatively well in their competitions this past year, and we're really looking forward to the coming year as well, especially with the Olympic trials on the horizon. And they're doing phenomenal work with kids, so they're involved in lots of, they've got their hands in all sorts of pots on the stove in terms of, I think, meaningful work with kids in underserved communities, not necessarily right here in Lyme, a little bit in Hanover, but primarily in Lebanon and Canaan and Enfield and Muskoma, doing really neat work with kids.
Well, Amory, you're quite an accomplished triathlete, and let's see, lacrosse and hockey yourself, and you've been a coach, so what were you looking for in a coach?
I think we were looking for a number of different things, all of which Tim possessed. Primarily leadership. Someone who I think had a very clear sense and vision for what this team could be, not just in year 1 and year 2, but in sort of year 5, year 10. This is a long-term idea for us. We wanted someone who knew his stuff, and who had the gravitas to be able to speak to both kids and athletes, sort of right off the bat on day one. Tim had been involved in the arena as an athlete on the roster for a number of years, so he had an institutional memory. He knew the organization, and that was also really important to us. Yeah.
Well, and he had some coaching experience not only at the University of Michigan but in East Peoria, where he coached at different levels. So
he did. He had great success at East Peoria Regional High School. So he had the young runner Kevin Eads, who I think broke Tim's cross country course record, which is really very cool. And I think if anyone was going to break it, good that Tim coached the kid who did it. And I know that those runners were just really loved Tim, and that to me spoke well of his ability to coach. Yeah. So
well, now you've got several great runners, Lex Williams and Ben True, who's the superstar.
Yeah, Ben. In a way, this team was coming home for Ben. He grew up in Maine, but he went to college at Dartmouth, and I think it just that all the stars aligned for Ben to be a part of this team too. Lex is great. We've got an 800-meter runner, Brian Gagnon, who's done some wonderful stuff, and then we have a new runner, Jeff Shermer, who's from Illinois, just come in Southern Illinois University. But Ben has had just by all metrics a phenomenal year. He won the 5K and 10K U.S. road titles, was second at the 15K U.S. road title, is now leading the U.S. A running circuit race with one event left to go, the 10 mile. I think really the only unchecked box on his list this year was getting the A standard for the 10K, and I think that's probably number one priority for the next, what Tim and Ben are looking at for the next little bit.
And I think he has the A standard for the 5K already, doesn't he?
He
might be close.
Question. I think he's close. I don't think he has it yet, but I think he's very close. I know he's got the B standard, but I don't think he's got the A.
Well, in any case, the 5K in Providence City won. Tim also won 2004, and not very many Americans win not just the title but the race overall, and those two did. So
yeah, I know, it's great. I mean, Ben had a great person to coach him through, the specifics of that race. The right-hand turn with 600 to go, the uphill finish, the whole 9 yards. So yeah, it was a good collaborative effort.
Well, now, I have to ask you this. You have two very small children. How do you keep up with all the things you're doing, and are you doing some things athletically yourself?
I don't sleep. As I cast an eye inside to make sure my little girl is not, setting the house on fire. What do? I run twice a day. It's just an organizing principle in my day. It's just incredibly important. I think some people say, you could get so much more done if you didn't run. And I say, no, I get so much more done because I run. Yeah. I think that just gives me the boost of energy I need in the morning and again in the afternoon to sort of marshal my strength for the day. So yeah, two young kids and a nonprofit and a family, and I couldn't be happier. It's really wonderful.
Oh, running would be a sanity break and planning time or something.
Yes, exactly. It is my sort of, when you leave the house and there are two kids and they're running around, and even if it's the best possible day, it's still nice to be able to draw a deep breath and have your thoughts to yourself for 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 60 minutes if I'm lucky. Yeah.
Well, one more thing to ask you about is the barn and Bull Moose Farm.
Yeah.
How did you find it? And it's a pretty exciting place to live and to have a wedding.
Sure. We found it quite by accident, actually. So we were traveling from Cambridge, where we lived prior to moving, up to Middlebury College, where David's sort of youngest daughter from his first marriage was enrolled in school, and on whose board he serves. And we came through this part of the woods, and we saw a for sale sign, and it's a beautiful piece of property. I mean, we feel really fortunate to be here, and it sets such a dramatic stage for a wedding. As you said just a few minutes ago, there's sort of not a bad view. So we actually were under contract to purchase the property without ever seeing the inside of the house. It was irrelevant. We just loved the property, and we thought it projected so nicely in terms of really building a running-specific community here. So there's 140 acres. There's the barn where we had the wedding and where Tim and Becca live, and we've got some really exciting long-term plans that we hope to implement in time that include all of the ideas that have been central to In the Arena: kids, elite athletes, creating opportunities, promoting fitness and health, and just a general sort of cohesion of community around the idea of running.
Well, Amory, congratulations on the big idea and the success so far, and we look forward to seeing some Olympians.
Great. We hope you come back.
Thank you.